Just imagine. What if one person was left all alone in the world, just with kangaroos? Well, something pretty similar happens in our story today. At the start of our story, a guy named Yu was chilling in a rocket, heading straight for the moon. But then, out of nowhere, a massive asteroid called Pi suddenly changed course and started heading right for Earth. This thing was even bigger than the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs back in the day. To save themselves, humans came up with a wild plan. The space station Yu was going to on the moon, that was actually built as part of this exact plan. It was packed with super advanced weapons designed to destroy the asteroid and then use the moon's gravity to pull all the debris far away from Earth. After 8 long years of non-stop work, humanity finally nailed the mission, and now, with their job done, Yu and all his crewmates were ready to head back to Earth. Before returning, Yu really wanted to tell his commander Jing how he felt, so to get ready, he went to his room, put on some tunes, and started writing a letter. Just then, an astronaut named Joe nervously rushed to Commander Jing with some urgent news. Turns out, at the very last second, their weapons system had a major malfunction. All the asteroid Pi's debris was about to crash onto the moon in the next 30 minutes. As soon as she heard this, Commander Jing immediately ordered everyone to evacuate the space station. Everyone then sprinted at full speed towards their rockets. But Yu was still deep into writing his love letter, and with his headphones on, he didn't hear a single warning alarm. A few minutes later, though, his eyes caught sight of the first rocket taking off, and he immediately sprinted full speed towards the space station. At that moment, there were 6 more rockets still left there. Yu felt a little relieved seeing them, but then, just like that, 5 rockets blasted off all at once. After that, Yu only had one last rocket remaining. He tried desperately to contact his team, but when he saw no other choice, he started speeding off in his rover. Then suddenly, a huge pit appeared in his path, and his rover plunged straight into it. By the time he managed to get out of that pit, the last rocket had already left, and the asteroid debris had already started raining down on that spot. To escape, Yu decided to hide in another pit, but just then, some of the debris crashed right into that pit too. Because of that, Yu was knocked out for a bit. But when he woke up, he figured it wouldn't be too hard for them to find him from Earth. Right then, though, a giant asteroid slammed directly into Earth, completely destroying the entire planet. For the next 6 months, Yu kept trying to contact Earth, but when he still got no luck, he finally just accepted his fate. Luckily for him, he had plenty of food and water to last him for the rest of his life. After paying tribute to everyone who was lost, Yu decided to fulfill all his wishes. First on his list was spending some time in Commander Jing's room, but he didn't even know the password. And his second wish was to go surfing on the moon's surface. At first, he kept falling spectacularly, but after days of trying, he finally managed to surf, though he still hadn't figured out Jing's room password, so in a fit of rage, he just blew the door off. After that, he decided to go on a date with a picture of Jing. During their date, he accidentally spilled ketchup right on Jing's face in the photo, and seizing the opportunity, he decided to give her picture a kiss. But what he didn't know was that the entire space station team was actually watching him from their new headquarters, and seeing his antics, everyone totally cringed and looked away, while Jing, on the other hand, was completely flabbergasted. However, due to network issues, all they could do at the time was watch Yu. And since he didn't seem to be in any immediate danger, Jing decided to cancel Yu's rescue mission. Just then, Chairman Yang informed them that the government had decided to broadcast Yu's new life to the entire world. Actually, after the asteroid hit Earth, 30% of the land was underwater, completely changing everyone's lives. And now, the government wanted to use Yu to spark new hope in people, to show them, look, this guy is stranded all alone, yet he's still living his life, right? But astronaut Joe didn't think Yu was fit for this job. Jing then told him they were going to dub Yu's voice and broadcast it to the world, so they could basically make him say whatever they wanted. After this, Jing went on the radio and shared a completely fake story about Yu with the world, claiming he'd given up his seat on the rocket to save his crewmates, and she also announced the broadcast of Yu's new life to everyone. After 196 days, Uwe went to the warehouse one day to pick up some medicine, and back at headquarters, a voiceover artist named Flutist was brought in to dub Uwe's voice, but he wasn't given any script. This time, when Uwe arrived at the warehouse, he noticed something new and unfamiliar, which he initially mistook for a girl and started talking to. But as he got closer, he realized it was actually a big, strong kangaroo. And at that exact moment, when the live stream went active, the camera zoomed right onto the kangaroo's face, and Flutist, completely unaware of the situation, began dubbing based on the kangaroo's mouth movements. Singh tried to stop Flutist, but it was already way too late, and tons of people had seen everything unfold. Because of this mess, Jing and Zhu had to face the chairman, where they revealed that their research team had actually left a kangaroo named Kang behind at the base station. And to make things worse, Flutist wasn't even a real voiceover artist, but just some influencer who did voiceovers for random stuff on social media. So after this huge screw-up, Singh decided that instead of dubbing the video, they would tell it like a story. In the spaceship, Uwe disguised himself as a female kangaroo to lure Kang closer. But as soon as Kang figured out his true identity, he started beating Uwe up, which made Flutist burst into loud laughter. Afterward, Singh took full responsibility for all the screw-ups, and just then, he got more news. A fighting match was about to go down between Kang and Uwe on the spaceship. Everyone then started watching the match super intently, and right then, Kang showed off his strength by hitting Uwe in the stomach, knocking him out cold. Seeing his state, Singh tried to talk to Uwe, and when he woke up and saw a signal on the communication channel, he started crying tears of joy. Even though he couldn't hear anyone, he was super happy to know that people on Earth were still alive. After striking a deal, they both decided to hop into their rover and head towards a broken Apollo module, hoping to use it to reach the lunar station. There was a rocket there that could help them get back to Earth. Uwe, meanwhile, put all his energy into finding the lunar dock, which could potentially help him. After this, Uwe put all his focus on rebuilding the spacecraft, which totally shocked everyone, and when Singh checked his file, he discovered that Uwe was actually a flight dynamics engineer who was currently working in the maintenance department. On his 282nd day, Uwe explained that their rover had a weight limit because of their broken engine, meaning he'd have to abandon the work and move on. But Kang still forcibly brought him back to their base, and then Uwe remembered they could use a weapon found there as a prototype engine, even though it was super risky, but Kang was still totally ready to support him. Hearing this, Aster told the entire team that while the task was definitely possible, getting it back to base before sunset would be incredibly difficult because the prototype engine ran on solar power. And even though one lunar day is equal to 14 Earth days, Uwe still wouldn't make it there even if he drove non-stop. Everyone thought it was impossible, but as soon as the sun began to set, Uwe started driving in the opposite direction. Actually, he couldn't leave the sunlight because it gets so incredibly cold on the moon once the sun disappears that he'd die. And seeing this, Singh realized he was going to continuously chase the sun to buy himself a full 41 days. And by the 28th day, Kang and Uwe were completely wiped out, which is why they had tied themselves together with a rope. And after days of non-stop driving, they finally made it to the engine. As soon as they arrived, Kang immediately started mashing a button repeatedly. And luckily, it wasn't just any button, but simply the diagnostic button. So because of Kang's wild antics, Uwe just locked him inside the car. After that, they both headed back to their base, but on the way, Kang's section of the rover detached from the engine. And by the time Uwe even realized what happened, a lot of time had already passed. Uwe knew that if he went back for Kang, he might lose the sunlight he needed. For a second, Uwe decided to leave Kang behind and keep going, and everyone was pretty shocked by his move, but just a few minutes later, he whipped around at full speed and headed straight back towards Kang. And after driving back for a bit, he finally reached him. And now, after all the calculations, everyone believed they wouldn't make it back in time, so Singh ordered everyone to find the lunar dock ASAP so they could use its battery to get back to their base. After driving continuously for a long time without sleep, Yu and Kong were both super tired, and then as the sun set, they only had 5 hours of battery left. But suddenly, the lunar dog activated, though in power-saving mode, it couldn't find them. Meanwhile, 55 kilometers from the base, the cabin had completely frozen due to the battery running out, forcing you and Kong to exit the ship. Back on Earth, Stone took control of the lunar dog and decided to send it to you. But on the way, its battery died, and the lunar dog fell into a huge pit, which left everyone on Earth really disappointed. You and Kong were just chatting while watching the stars when you suddenly got lost in thoughts of Jing again, and a little later, when he snapped out of it, he saw Kong running around, chasing a reflection from a piece of glass. This gave you an idea, and he tied a sledge to Kong's back, after which his surfing practice totally came in handy. Now the two of them were moving super fast, but then a huge pit appeared in front of them, and you cleverly used nitrogen tanks to cross it. Seeing his success, everyone on Earth was really happy, and a new hope was sparked in all of them. On the other hand, you received many honors on Earth because of his bravery, which the chairman himself used to go and accept. Then, Jing told the chairman that the communication line would be fixed in the next 3 months, after which they could contact you. Slowly, things started getting back to normal, but no one knew that a huge part of the meteor was still waiting, posing a massive threat to all of them. Meanwhile, you and Kong were playing when Kong accidentally touched some wires, and then you saw some signals on the screen, just like before. Seeing this, you now felt that maybe no one was left alive on Earth, and perhaps Kong had messed with the wires in the same way before, and that's when those signals had appeared. He became really sad after seeing this, and meanwhile, Jing started working on fixing the communication line with all her might. A few days later, you prepared a female kangaroo toy for Kong and then went outside the ship himself, ready to end everything. You was now completely desperate, so Jing told the whole world what he was truly feeling and also asked everyone for help, telling them to point their phone flashlights towards the moon. Meanwhile, Yu was about to take off his helmet far from the ship when he saw a light coming from Earth, and as soon as he saw it, he fell to his knees and started crying. A little later, after returning to the base, when Yu turned on the communication button, he could finally hear all his companions. They told him about his live stream happening on Earth, but despite this, Yu wasn't saying anything, so everyone made Jing stand in front of him, and as soon as she said hello, he became very happy. Over the next few days, all the engineers helped Yu fix his spacecraft, but he only truly became happy after seeing Jing. And finally, after the spacecraft was ready, one night Yu got a chance to talk to Jing alone. During their conversation, she told Yu that she had joined the maintenance department only because of him. Actually, Yu wasn't ready to work in this department at first, but then he saw Jing passing by, and he fell for her at first sight, deciding, "I'm going to the moon just to be near her, no matter what." After that, he was even willing to do a small job in the maintenance department. Hearing his words, Jing also told him that she had seen Yu running that day while boarding the rocket, but unfortunately, she couldn't wait for him then. Because of their conversation, no one noticed the increasing threat heading towards Earth. The next day, Kong and Yu were fully ready to return home, and with their team's help, they finally launched the spacecraft safely, which made everyone super happy because Yu and Kong had finally reached the space station after spending 923 days on the moon. And then, Zhu called an urgent meeting, telling everyone about the large part of the meteor that was rapidly approaching them, while the chairman believed that only one man could save them from this danger, because his ship's engine was a weapon in itself. That man was none other than Yu. As soon as she heard this, Jing went into the control room and shut down the live stream, which left everyone pretty shocked. But before she could talk to Yu, he had already found out about this danger. Turns out, he'd heard everything they said through his headphones, and now he knew he'd have to manually crash the missiles into the asteroid because they didn't have engines. Plus, he had to get back to his spacecraft before they activated. His chances of surviving this mission were super low, but even then, he was totally ready to do it. He knew saving Earth was all on him now, and he also told Sing that if he didn't make it, she should find someone else, because he didn't want to see her live a sad life all alone. The moment Yu gave the go-ahead, everyone on Earth was told to head to the underground bunkers. Then, Yu first strapped Kang into his seat so he could get back to Earth safe and sound. But Kang really wanted to stay with his friend. As soon as they split up, Yu ran into a bunch of rocks, and after hitting one, his spacecraft started spinning wildly. To stop it, Wu detached his compartment from the main craft. The missiles were totally fine after that, but their engine was now separate. That's when Sing told him that part of the asteroid was about to pass really close to him, and she absolutely did not want to sacrifice Wu. But hearing that, Wu told her she should only be thinking about saving Earth right now, and then he turned his ship towards the asteroid and asked her to start the live stream. After that, he thanked everyone for their support as he detached the missiles. He also told everyone he used to think that either the people in the front would die or the ones in the back, and working in the middle was super safe, but today he was literally stuck between Earth and that asteroid. Then he started moving towards the asteroid at full speed, singing Sing's favorite song, and everyone, including Sing, was crying as they watched. As he got closer to the asteroid, Sing tried to hit the missile button, but couldn't, and all she could think about were the moments she'd spent with Wu. But then, Wu reminded her of her duty and told her to hit the button. Just a few seconds later, there was a massive explosion, and that asteroid completely shattered into tiny pieces. Those tiny pieces looked like shooting stars as they hit Earth, and Kang, along with millions of others, could see them. Then, a boy in the crowd told his little sister that they were only going home today because of the Moon Man. Over the next 10 years, thanks to everyone's hard work, Earth was back to normal. And then, Lassie, the new chairman of the space program, announced that humans were going back to the moon again, and Sing was also ready to go back to the moon. As soon as she got there, she started seeing all the moments Wu had spent on the moon. Watching them, her eyes filled with happy tears. Then, looking at Earth with one of her companions, she explained that the asteroid fragments from 10 years ago were now orbiting Earth like a ring, and they would always remind everyone of the Moon Man.